been approved for a lot split of 2.69 acres to sell. The remaining acreage will be 67.45 acres. Will be kept by the applicant under current zoning, agricultural. The parcel is below the minimum 10-acre size and requiring a rezone to residential. Staff recommendations: the proposed zoning change conforms to the character of the neighborhood by providing a combined usage. Neighboring agricultural zone properties are a large zone. Property is suitable for permitted use of the proposed R1 residential zoning and will not negatively affect nearby properties. The proposal rezone of the land create no change or effect of surrounding properties and does not create any additional infrastructure needs. The proposed change conforms to the comprehensive plan by allowing more land to be kept in a large agricultural parcel and not changed to residential designation. The standards that should apply are listed in Article 20, amendments, rezoning, and conditional use permits, and with proper findings as required in Golden verse the City of Overland Park. Staff recommends approval of application.
You put out a map of this.
No, I did.
Is anybody here to speak in behalf of this?
Yes, this is Wayne Madison right here. He's the property owner.
Okay. Wayne? Hey. Welcome to the podium.
Yeah.
Tell us about what you want to do.
Okay, so it's down over on Reed Road, just south of 52 here. Familiar with the old airport? It's okay. It's just south of the old airport there. I'm sorry.
Which wood?
I mean, so there's that old airstrip. The house and the property in question is just south of there. I think it's like 750 Road, maybe.
700 road.
700 Road.
Just south of 700 Road. There's a piece of land right there, south of 700 on the east side of the road. And then the next property down is his property.
Yeah, that piece is an 80-ish
Yeah.
in like Gilmore Trust.
I believe so, yeah. Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
The house is being sectioned off.
Yeah, so the house and just the immediate area around it essentially got sectioned off. It got surveyed out and everything. The people that wanted to buy the house and just that's all they wanted. So that's all we're doing. And then per Kansas law, it went below 10, so had to get rezoned. And so that's what we're doing right here. So there's already a house and structures there. I can't imagine that it's going to change anything at all other than just the classification of the zoning, and that's about it. The majority of the other piece of land, it's staying the same way. So there's nothing changing with that. So hopefully that helps clear it up.
Any questions from anybody?
So this is the section just and kind of does this little.
Yep.
Okay, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, so the big piece, nothing's changing on that
Okay.
zoning. It's just the 2.69 that's around the house that's changing, and it has to because of law. So other than that, as far as I know, nothing else will change on the property. So
You say you did have that surveyed?
we did, yeah.
Yes, I have the lot split. Just waiting for final signature on. So once the board approves the rezoning, then I can sign the lot split. Also, pertaining to sanitation, I forgot to put that in here, but the sanitation regulation requires that we have 2 acres or more for septic, because there is septic on the property. It's over 2 acres, and it looks to me that the lines will be staying on the property. They're not being sectioned off of the property. So if they break or something, that they can be fixed without hindering somebody else's property.
Any other questions for Mr. Masterson? Anybody else want to speak for this proposal? Okay. Like to speak? Please state your name and.
Jan Longenecker.
Yes.
I'm a little unsure. As my understanding is, there's a current house that is being surveyed off, and that will be the 2.69 acres. There is a house on the property.
Yes.
I don't know this applicant. I'm here because decisions made by this board have a lasting impact, not only in this area of this lot split, but across the county. Article 5, Section 201A of the Linn County zoning regulations lists permitted uses for agriculturally zoned lands. And one of those permitted uses is single-family and accessory dwellings where the land is used or intended to be used for ag purposes, except that the tract on which the dwellings may be placed shall not be less than 10 acres. This application skirts, it's an attempted end run around that requirement. If that kind of zoning, if this type of land use was envisioned by the comprehensive plan and zoning regulations, the 10-acre restriction would not have been included. It effectively nullifies that 10-acre requirement. If we can simply run into this board, ask for residential, and voila, it goes away, the requirement. Why would we require 10-acre minimums for ag zone land and 5 acres for countryside if all you had to do was come in and request a zoning change and all of a sudden 1, 2s, and 3s out in the middle of large ag tracts was acceptable? And you might say, what's the big deal? This is just one request for 2.69 acres. Unfortunately, it's not just one request. This will generate 50 more. There are people everywhere out there who would love to have a house on an acre or two out in the country. This opens the door. This is precedent setting, as far as I know, in opening this up to residential zoning, far, far removed from where there's any block of residential housing in the residential district. Areas suitable for residential zoning have been identified, and they're on the county zoning map. It's not consistent with the comprehensive plan to randomly slap a residential zoning tag on small parcels within large blocks of land zoned for agriculture use. Specifically, in the comprehensive plan, there's something called priority themes. And one of those, and I know some of you were involved in the drawing up of the comprehensive plan. But one of those priority themes is balancing rural character and growth. Promoting agricultural uses and preserving the rural character of the county have remained a top priority. It goes on to say incentives to discourage lot splits and residential development that negatively impact the look, feel, and function of undeveloped areas should be a major focus of the county. We don't have fancy shopping malls and professional sports franchises in our county. What we do have are wide expanses of unbroken farm and ranch lands. And whether you're in production agriculture, a bird watcher, a hunter, or just like a little solitude, protection of those lands should be important to you. I urge you, don't let this be the start of more residential requests throughout the county. Don't let something so valuable slip away 2.69 acres at a time. Thank you. Yes, sir.
What was the regulation you stated initially? 5-?
5-201A, permitted uses.
Okay.
It says 10 acres, and then 5.7 also is clear on 10 acres for each lot. It says tract or lot in 5.7.
Okay.
And I might point out, even with countryside zoning, if you read that, what it says 5 acres, but it also says we should only consider countryside zoning one section at a time. And only then, if that section is broken up into 16 tracts. In other words, once a section starts to break up more and more smaller tracts, then it becomes ripe for countryside, for those 5-acre homes where people either can't afford or don't wish to own large blocks. But it says not only 5 acres, but it says only after that section is broken up. Here we have a request just to grab 2.69 acres. And while that probably wouldn't hurt much of anything, how in the world do you stop all the rest of the people who also want 2.69 acres and a house once you've given residential zoning? Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Longacre?
Would you be okay with like 10 acres rather than just the 2?
10 acres would meet the regulations.
I guess I'm asking you, would you be in agreement with 10 acres or more if it was split? Or are you just disagreeing with the residential period in that area?
I like the large unbroken tracts of agricultural land, but we can't all choose what we want. I'd say 40 acres minimum if I'm king tomorrow, but I'm not. We have said in the regulations, we have designated 10 acres as a minimum in agriculturally zoned land. So, I mean, where I live, people have moved in after I bought. Well, that's terrible. I wanted it all to myself, you know. Well, they have rights too. And so we live with the regulations. That's all I want is the regulations and the comprehensive plan. The regulations are only to put teeth into our plan. The citizens of this county designed a plan what it's supposed to look like, and then the regulations would just go afterwards. It's really the comprehensive plan that is significant. Thank you.
Anybody else in the audience like to speak? For or against? Okay, we'll close audience participation, and now we'll do discussion. Just looking the board here. So, Al,
Yes, sir.
what's your view on this acreage deal?
Well,
You're the regulation expert.
let's look at the comp plan and see what the comp plan says. But I'm sure on the comprehensive plan, we were to encourage growth in the county. And if we don't do this, I think we're discouraging growth in the county. But I think the objective of breaking off the property is keeping as much agricultural land in production as possible. That was the whole reasoning for that in the comp plan. And I think 10 acres was what was discussed. Now, if somebody wants to, there is a crop field already existing there. I think we have to take that in consideration. If that was where the cropland is and it was surveyed as 2.6 some acres, then why take that ag ground out of production by progressing and moving it over to 10 acres? That's just my personal opinion.
But we are, by adopting this, we are foregoing that regulation he speaks of, if you look that up.
No, I haven't had a chance to look at everything that he's talked about.
Can you pull that up?
What was it again?
5-201A.
Was it regulations or subdivision regulations? Okay. Yeah. 5-1A.
5-201A.
I don't see it, but.
Did you say you went out and looked at that and it was surveyed?
Mm-hmm.
Is it fenced off from the agriculture or is it?
There's
Is
a
it not
fence,
buildable?
right? There's a fence around the property.
It would be, yes. If it's not, that's how I thought, Jeff, it was all cattle. It wasn't.
It's really, there's really only maybe 30-ish acres that are really productive, and it's hay. It's hay ground. If there's no crops, it's not farmland.
It's on the cattle.
Creeks and stuff, and that those crossings, you know how they're a problem. There haven't been cows on it since I've owned it. And
10 years.
I would say the area that is blocked off for the 2.69, that wasn't anything that was really tillable or hayed. That was just the area around the house. If you were to block off, let's say 10 and increase it to 10, which I did try, the buyers wouldn't do it. They didn't have the money. You'd actually be blocking off the prime hay ground that is actually producing. So by keeping that tract small with the house, you're keeping the actual hay producing ground on the large piece in ag.
Are they planning on building something new, remodeling that? What are they planning on doing? You have any
As far
idea?
as I know, they're just going to live there.
Oh,
And that's it.
I've
So,
not seen the house, that's why.
yeah, I think they're retired or near retirement, and I don't think they're not intending to farm or anything like that. So anything they would own, even if you increased it to 10 or 20 or something, I don't think they'd honestly use it. In the area around the house, I don't know if you can see a map or a satellite image or anything, but
Yeah,
the area that they did not put a purchase agreement on, that's all the prime hay ground. All the area to the back is more woods. That's more like hunting ground. It's just too hilly. There's too much creek, things like that. So
say to
it's
the
not,
back, which direction from the house?
It'd be east.
East?
yeah, so the area between the neighboring house to the road, then eastward, that's like that's the best hay ground. There's about 15 acres or so all the way to the back of the property, all the way to the east. It's okay. It's all natural hay. It's so, but it's really hard to get equipment back there. I only hayed it like 1 year because it was dry enough that we could just cross the creek bed with equipment and hay it out. But other than that, that front field is pretty much all the productive ground. The rest of it, I'd consider it silvopasture or something.
They're not raising brome or anything like that on it? or
No,
anything
no
like that?
brome. It's just all, yeah, they're really productive ground. I'd say it's a mix of natural and quite a bit of fescue. So, yeah, the back, that's all just natural stuff. So, but yeah, if you were to increase it to 10, you'd actually be losing more productive ground because they don't want anything to do with farming or ranching as far as I know. So,
Thank you. So 5-201 reads, in the A district, no building, land, or premises shall be used, and no building or structure shall be hereafter erected or altered unless otherwise provided for in these regulations, except for the following uses. A, single family dwellings and accessory dwelling units where the land is used or intended to be used only for agricultural purposes, except the tract on which the dwellings may be placed shall not be less than 10 acres.
Excuse me. 5.701, minimum lot size also applies to that.
We've closed that
Sure.
for just a minute.
Just for clarification, could I give you the listing? 5.701. Following the effective date of these regulations, no parcel, lot, or tract of land less than 10 acres in area shall be zoned as District A. no lot, parcel, or tract.
So effective,
I'm hearing this right. That's to protect small pieces of tracts of land from becoming ag, not the other way around. The part that's currently ag, all the producing land, it's going to stay ag. It's currently ag. It's going to stay ag. It's the law is saying that no small 2 or 3 or 4 acre place could be ag, and that's what they're defining it as, which would be the case.
thank you. So it looks to me like we are foregoing that 5-201A. Amending that to allow this.
Well, that we are rezoning it to where the agricultural regulations do not apply to this zone because we're changing it to residential.
Right.
So anything, since we're changing it to residential, we're moving away from agricultural regulations. If we were keeping this as agricultural or building as agricultural, then we would adhere to these regulations. But since we're moving away from it, that's why we're moving away from it, because we're going lower than the 10 acres. That yes, if we were to stay within the 10 acres, that this is what would apply. That we could only have one dwelling, the public parks, everything in this would stay to that. But then what staff is asking is that we go to a residential regulations in this 2.6 acres.
Then why do we state this in this regulation?
What's that?
10 acres.
The 10 acres is in there. It's the 5.7.
5201A.
No, if you go to 5 dash, at the very end, sorry.
5-701.
Yes, 5-701. It pretty much says that agricultural needs to be at least 10 acres. That's that right there in the blue. So since we are going less than that, that is when we're stepping away from agricultural regulation and stepping to the residential regulations.
I guess I'm a little confused on that because the house already exists.
Yes.
Why not just sell the house? Are you having to add to it?
Nope. So the reason that we are doing the lot split is because the people that are interested in the house are just interested in the house, and there's like a detached garage on the property, and then there's a little bit of a backyard and
So
a
it
little
would
bit of
include
land.
that.
It's 2.6 some acres, so there's a little bit of land, and they're just interested in just that. That's fenced off.
It just didn't make any sense because there's already a house there. Why they couldn't just buy the house and move on? But I guess it's all included in the main acreage.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and they are saying that I've talked to their realtor and the person wanting to purchase the property, and they're just not in a financial state to purchase all the land. So they're just interested in this, just the house and just the 2.6 acres.
Well, 15.7 specifically says no land under 10 acres can be considered agricultural.
Yes.
It has to be residential.
Yes.
But then A says no dwelling may be placed on less than 10 acres. So we contradicting ourselves in the regulation.
No, because
It's less than 10 acres.
because we're changing it over. So if we do not, if the board agrees or does not agree to the rezoning, then the lot split cannot happen.
Oh, how? It says here. Dwellings maybe shall not be less than 10 acres.
But the dwelling's already on
It's
80.
less than 10 acres.
The dwelling's on
It says
80
not be
acres.
less.
Well, I couldn't understand.
So we're just taking it out of the 80 acres.
I think that's what he was trying to say. He didn't want little pieces here and there taken out of all these different little areas. But I'm like you, I thought he'll just sell the house and move on, but they want some extra property there with it, so.
So you're definitely setting a precedent.
Yes, that is basically what we are voting on, is setting a precedence.
Well,
But I will let
this
the,
is not, it's not really a precedence because Mr. Longnecker's talking about future development.
Mhm.
Right.
What Madison's doing is existing dwelling that's been there for 40 years. It's not something that's just popped up and been sold. So it's not really,
well, I will let the board know that this is not the first time this has been done. That there is plenty of this going on, or that has gone on in the county. There's residential areas all over the county.
So that house is now under agriculture.
Yes, because it is part
It's
of.
taxed agriculture.
Yep, it's part of.
an 80 acres.
Yep, the bigger track.
So all we would be doing is taking it out of the 80 acres. So the agricultural,
Why are we saying less than 10 acres? This one's got to be confused.
Because if someone were to, for some reason, purchase some land that is zoned agriculture, they can't keep it agriculture and put a residence on that property.
That's on building a new structure.
Yes, that's building a new
Building a
structure.
home.
If you find 10 acres and you buy 10 acres that does not already have a house on it, a dwelling on it, you can't go and put a dwelling on it if it's less than 10, because then you're taking away area from agriculture. It has to be larger than that, is what this is saying. What it wants.
So you're saying any new structures or people, it would have to be at least 10 acres.
Yes. Or we would just rezone it for either countryside or residential.
Okay, any more discussion? Any motions out there concerning this? Anybody like to make a motion?
I'll motion we zone it residential.
So your motion is that we accept
Yes,
this case as written?
yes.
Any seconds? Seeing no seconds, need to, the motion cannot pass without a second. So, I suggest we table this. I don't know, I don't even know if we can do that. No seconds. If the board agrees, let's table this until we get some further information about this zoning regulation and some maps. And bring it up at the next meeting. Is that agreeable?
I agree with
The motion's been
Motion.
yeah, what?
Don't you need to have a motion to table?
Yeah, can we have a motion to table?
motion to table it.
Second?
I'll second.
Motion and second, any discussion?
The only thing I'm concerned about is those two regulations sound like they're offsetting each other. That's what I'd like to look at myself.
doesn't go forward today then, or?
It would not go forward today if it passes, but we're in discussion now. We really can't take.
If you could,
So the people are living in it.
yeah. I know, yeah, give me a call tomorrow. We could talk about how we'll proceed.
So there's been a motion on the floor to table, a second. Any discussion? All in favor of tabling, say aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign. Passes the table.
Matt, give me a call tomorrow.
All right, public comment. Anybody in the audience like to make a public comment?
About anything?
Anything?
I'll make fun.
Okay,
It's about the last thing we was talking
gotcha.
about. So my name's Nathan Howard. I'm a property owner in Parker, along with Jan Longnecker and the other individuals in the back. The issue at hand previously about the lot split goes way beyond this meeting. If you guys aren't aware of that, there's a bigger issue going on with land splits and tracts and subdivisions and all of that in Parker, Kansas. And you guys are going to hear about all of that stuff next week. So the problem that I have with the issue and the gentleman who's trying to split the lot and get it zoned residential, I don't know him, and fortunately I'm here to speak against him. But the explanation was the house is already there, and what's the harm of splitting it up? Well, then it's the next 2 acres. What's the harm of just splitting those 2 acres up? And what's the harm of splitting these next 2 acres up? You know, it precludes, there was the time, and it affected my family years ago where we had to split acreage up to 10 acres, and we did, because that's what the regulation was. There wasn't an end around because, hey, we'll just rezone it and then we'll get away from all these regulations and nobody will be the wiser. So it is an end run around the county to do that. So the other problem I have is it precludes people from coming down here and buying 120 acres with a house on it, and they don't want the house. They just want the property. So now I'm going to buy this 120 acres, and now precedent set, I'll just go down to the zoning and planning committee and have the house in 2.5 acres zoned and just sell it off and be done. So that's the problem I have with the continuance of splitting these into less than 10 acres and rezoning them, is because it's not going to stop. And we've seen this over the last 2 years fighting an issue that it hasn't stopped. It's going to continue with developers coming in here and breaking them up into tracts and trying to get subdivisions. And then they can't get the subdivision passed, so they do an end around and decide to do something else and have it rezoned, or so on and so forth. So that's the issue I have, is looking at the house that already has the property already has a house on it is great. By doing that, you've already opened it up to split another 2.6 acres and say, well, it's just 2.6 acres and let them build a house on it. It'll be residential. So I heard Mr. Souza talk about his recommendation on the property conforms to the area. It doesn't. There's no other property in the area with just 2.67 acres on it with a house. It doesn't conform to the area. If there was a bunch of other residential properties there on 2.67 acres, it would conform to the residents or the residential area, but it doesn't. It's like saying, hey, I bought this 20 acres, I'm going to build 2 houses on it. It conforms to the area with 300 acre farms right next door to it. There's no conforming. 2.67 acres in a residential or in an agricultural area doesn't conform by itself. A house on 80 acres in an agriculture area conforms because that's what the regulation was. So the problem is if the regulation is 10 acres, let's follow the regulation. If the regulation isn't followed, then they're absolutely worthless. If you can just say, we'll get around the regulations by just rezoning it, we'll do it that way. So that's what I'd like to say, is that if you guys dig into the regulations and think about the conforming area of Linn County, especially the agricultural land, like you said, the people just want 2.67 acres are coming down here and they're going to retire. Great. Do the 10 acres. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Moving on. Let's talk about battery regulations. Vince, printed off his latest draft. What I'd like to do is go, see how far we can get through this.
Where did we end up last week? Where
We
did we
ended,
stop
we,
at?
well, I want to start back at the beginning, even though we ended up at 24-509. The noise deal. I want to make sure that we got changed what we talked about initially.
You think we ended up at?
Right after the noise, 24-509 is on page 10. It's still on the noise that way.
Yeah, we got through that stuff. See,
Well, let's start at the beginning. Let's just be sure we got changes in what we
Okay.
talked about. So I've got the old one. Hopefully everybody's got the new one there. So 14-401, we changed. Regulations apply to tier. We changed that from 1401 to 2401. Assume it's just those.
Yeah, the new one, yeah.
County versus Linn County. Okay, good, okay. So, page 2, C. Tier 2, battery energy storage systems have aggregate energy storage capacity of 600 kilowatts. He's added using multiple battery technologies.
Yeah.
What's the reason for that?
When I did my research, it said that that some tier 2 use different multi-battery. It was just wanted to make sure that if someone that did less than 81 kilowatt, that if they did that it would be, if they used multiple but kept it less than 81, it's still going to be considered tier 2. That is in the research. I was like, oh, that's interesting. We'll put that just so that way we can regulate it.
It's still the size, it's the 600.
Pass the definitions. And then I don't know if we want to discuss the 24-302. All that fun stuff. It's in blue. That was questionable the last time.
So let's start at 24-301. So you change that.
okay,
Still got a countryside in there.
well, I don't think we scratch countryside.
We can just
We
because
can now, if we want to.
I've got residential, countryside, and public use scratched.
I didn't think that we did scratch. We can. I mean, most countryside is going to be less than 10 acres anyway. But there's maybe 3 or 4 lots that are countryside that are bigger than 10 acres.
I had residential and public use scratched, adding in heavy industrial 1 and 2.
I did that.
countryside scratch.
So how's everybody feel about scratching countryside?
Guess I need a definition of
You're expert.
Very vague. It's very vague. It's pretty much just, yeah, is that if someone wants to rezone something, and I mean, Mr. Longnecker that spoke on Countryside, what he quoted about it being looked at one parcel at a time, there is pretty stringent regulations on it, but the main thing that if I look at some zoning, even consider it, is that it's gonna be less than 10 acres, anywhere from 10 to,
countryside is less than 10.
yep. Countryside, basically land is less than 10.
Why, I think it should be scratched.
So the reason,
So if countryside is considered less than 10 acres, so I think it should be scratched.
I thought we decided that last time.
Well, I did too. I
Oh,
can't
maybe
find
I
my.
had it scratched. I didn't have
I had
it
it
scratched. on
I
mine.
didn't have it scratched either. I must have been,
I had it scratched, but instead we thought it was different here too.
yeah. So for tier 2, it would fit in that area. Tier 3 it would be too big, but tier 2 it would not.
Okay,
So tier 2.
2 or 3, if we don't have them. So does that need to be put in the tier 2A, 302? How do we put the countryside in on a tier 2?
Well,
Not have on tier
they wouldn't be able to fit it in. A tier 3 would just be too big to do in Countryside, basically. It just wouldn't work out land use wise.
So tier 2, let's talk about the tier 2 size. Tier 2. It's 600 kilowatt.
Yeah, so my research that I found was mainly that, well, like tier 2 would be more for like a hospital. If a hospital wanted to do away with gas generators and they wanted to go with batteries instead of gas generators, that would be a suitable source, would be the backup generators. Also found another example that if a industrial building that does a lot of shipping, if they wanted to have battery energy storage systems and charge up their trucks and go off of that when the energy usage is low, instead of trying to charge their trucks when the energy usage is high, they could do that too. The new semi trucks that possibly be electric someday.
Neither one of those examples.
So
Yeah, they would be. Yeah.
Give me an example.
If somebody were to put something that I'm not thinking of on less than 10 acres, I don't know. Like the usage of it is basically limited when it pertains to recharging things. Is that you're just storing electricity in, maybe what the examples were like, kind of like the size of that file cabinet. Where like multiple units about the size of that file cabinet are in an industrial building, and then they just store energy, and then they could put out from there.
what'd you say, what was the kilowatts or megawatts on a tier 2?
600.
Yep.
Huh?
Maximum 600.
Yeah, it was
kilowatts.
81 to 600.
600 kilowatt.
So
megawatts.
81
Megawatts, kilowatts.
kilowatts. 81 to 600. So I can see where maybe a home could use 80 or something.
That said, the average home uses, I think it was only like 23 for normal use. 23 or 43. It was up somewhere around there. that normal homes use about that much on average.
So the question on the table is whether we allow tier 2 on countryside. Or we don't allow it all. What's everybody's thoughts?
I think not.
I do too.
You're on the fence. Okay. How about you guys?
I just soon take it off.
I think it should be taken.
Okay. Let's scratch countryside then.
All right, too easy. But the other 4 are good: agricultural, industrial 1 and 2, and
Yep.
commercial.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Now I've got a question on C. Let me get my thoughts again.
I read that Allen County down here is the only one around Kansas that has any of this in Kansas. Have you checked with them to see if they've got anything put together so you don't have to do all this hassle?
There's a lot of this from
Is
Allen
it?
County.
Okay, I didn't know.
I've referenced it, and Allen County, they pulled out. They did not proceed with the building of it.
Okay.
It was the last time I heard, and that was maybe 2 months ago. I talked to their zoning director, and we talked about it a little bit, and he said that they are okay to do it now.
I just thought that might save you a little bit of this if they've already worked through all those issues.
The big thing was our comprehensive plan and their comprehensive plan not exactly meeting our comprehensive. This does a decent job of it.
Just thought.
Read
I know
C.
you like to do.
What's C saying?
So I just thought I'd throw it out
I'm
there.
gonna ask Dan to explain.
Somebody else is right there.
Dan, explain 24-301, paragraph B.
Storage systems.
Tier 2, 3 batteries.
It is that pretty much like a commercial, like a big industrial building wants to use these energy storage systems, and it's tied in. It's part of their proposal for it. That it's not part of it. That the company coming in that wants a new, if like a big company, a big shipping company wants to come in and they want to use best systems, that it's just tied in with that.
So the idea is an industrial application that's less than 2,000 square feet are not required to a special use permit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that would be under that special use or whatever special use permit, conditional use permit is. We would address it in that cup or the sub.
So say Fabcon up there,
Mm-hmm.
they decided they wanted to put in a best deal to run their cranes. And
Yep.
everything
If they wanted to do that, they would have to come to us because that would be a change in the agreement,
Okay,
and then we would talk about it then.
so the building has to be at least 2,000 square feet,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Yep.
Oh, wait a minute. Under 2,000.
Under 2,000. Sorry,
2,000 square feet.
or under 2,000 square feet.
So what happens if it's over 2,000 square feet?
Then they need to hold another. Then we would come back to this.
I get it. I mean, if an industry wants to put in, we're saying they have to be agricultural, industrial 2 or commercial. 2 and 3, it's under 2,000 square feet. They don't require a special use permit
Yep.
unless they are located within 200 feet of residential use or zone. Everybody got that?
So if it's, yeah, like, so if it's a really big company,
If a new company comes in, goes to the industrial park, wants to build a new building, and they're under 2,000 square feet, they can put a tier two best.
Two or three.
Or three. Best system, as long as they're no longer. Right? Or zone.
if there's a zoning, a residential zone, a piece of land, tract
That
that's
is
zoned.
tract, that is already labeled as subdivision or something
Yep.
like that.
Should we say property line there? Specific?
Yeah. Property line, yep.
Zone property.
How I see it also is even in existing buildings.
What?
ABC Industries, it's been business here for 50 years, wants to put a bus in. It's under 2,000 square feet. Yeah,
Well, then they're changing their cup basically. So then when they change their cup, they would have to come and talk to the zoning board, get approval from the zoning board before they could do that.
They'd have to come and talk to the zoning board to get proof of the reason they wanted to change the cup.
Yep. Yeah. Like previous ones that we have agreed to or, sent forth to the commissioners, they have to submit in writing what they want to change and why they want to change it before they can just change it.
So will then that come to us, or does that go straight just through you?
It would come before the zoning board. Yeah.
Okay, so you'd have to have a hearing.
Yep. Yes. Because the zoning boards approve it, then the zoning board have to redoing it.
Okay.
Keep doing it.
Okay.
We're gonna skip 240302. Get through the rest of this first. I wanna skip the setbacks and the noise and come back to it.
So we had
So we're going to page 6. What was that?
Woo! I pushed off the knee.
there, whatever done,
What
quit.
was it? Magnetic personality?
Oh my.
Yeah, mark up something and then everything quit.
Dawn's the infiltrator of a spy. Got some kind of listening device going on. Don't put it back in there.
Okay, 24-4. You were gonna reword that, and I assume that's what you did here.
I believe so. Is this?
Looks good.
Since I haven't looked at this, who's gonna pay for some of this? Is that gonna be the company that's trying to get this done, all these different?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanna make
Yeah,
sure.
the applicant should pay for all of it.
Okay.
I think it's addressed in there.
It probably is, so I just thought I'd ask real quick.
So the fence hazards, Ben, what was that? Emergency service training for dealing with all fence hazards.
I think that was pertaining to placard signs that were gonna be up, so that way any of the emergency services that were gonna come in would know what is inside of the fence line. And if I understand correctly, that training emergency services for these
They're trying to get I think it's that one, Donnie, got
Yeah, no, yeah. It's just being labeled, on the fence of the hazard posted on something. So it would be I would like to
Everybody runs electric. So,
Was it? I don't know. Are we at soil sample?
Okay,
Last time you made a motion and I couldn't hear it. I just remember that you did it. Are we going to discuss anything before 24,507? I was going to ask if I need to pull up 16.9.
So we're at 24-507, fencing and screening.
Here we
Yeah.
go with the fencing.
All right,
Okay. Yep. Section 16.9 is basically just labeled fences. And it's just the regulation that we adhere to for fences. Do you want me to read it?
Well, the 7 feet.
Yeah.
I think if you look on the fence regulations, I think it's 10 feet. And we can put it anything we want, but I don't think they make a 7-foot fence, chain link fence, do they? No, it'd have to be 8 feet at least, 8 or 10.
Yeah, it's gonna be 8 or 10.
I think make 4, 6, 8, 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is what they.
Yeah.
So I mean, that 7 feet needs to be changed to whatever we decide, but it needs to be above 7 feet.
let's make it 8.
8 feet. Okay.
It'll work.
Minimum of 8 feet.
Yeah. I'm not sure if 7 even came. Okay. Yep. And then 16.5 is
So the section 16.9.
yes, that is fence.
So can we look at that just real quick?
Yep.
So we understand what section 16.9. You want to read it then?
Which part? All of it?
I think it's not that long.
Okay. All right. Except for fences used for agricultural purpose and as otherwise specifically provided elsewhere in these regulations, the following restrictions shall apply to the construction of all fences or improvements, replacements, or extensions of existing fences. No fence shall be constructed without first obtaining a fence permit from the zoning administrator. No fence shall be constructed closer to the street than the front setback line established for the district in which such fence is to be erected. However, a fence not exceeding 3 feet in height may be constructed within a required front yard setback, and the zoning administrator determines that such a fence otherwise complies with the regulations of this section. No fence shall be constructed in the sight distance area of any other location by which it would constitute a traffic hazard. A property owner may install a fence within a dedicated easement at his or her own risk of having to remove or repair such fence due to lawful activities of persons or entities under the easement. No fence shall be constructed, repaired, replaced, or reconstructed in such a manner or be of such design or constituted of such materials as to be hazardous or dangerous to persons or animals. No person shall erect or repair, replace, or reconstruct any fence which will materially damage the adjacent property by obstructing the view, shutting out the sunlight or hiding ventilation of which fence will adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare. For corner lots, the following rules shall apply. All sides adjacent to a street shall be considered front yards, with the one of the non-address side having the lesser setback requirement. The primary front yard shall meet the applicable direct setback. However, on corner lots back to back with another corner lot, the fence may be installed up to the non-address side property line in the front yard setback area. For institutional use in residential lake, The other one's MHP, MU, and countryside. Districts such as schools, parks, hospitals, and cemeteries. A fence may be constructed in the front yard setback provided it complies with subsections C, D, and E of the section with maximum of 6 feet height. A fence may be erected in a commercial district to not more than 10 feet maximum height. However, no barbed wire or electrocution shall be attached. A fence may be erected in an industrial district to not more than 10 feet maximum height.
So I think where it said barbed wire, I think there's something conflicting in that later when we go on further into the regulations, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's something,
Yeah.
it says here, no barbed wire, and I think later in this, it's gonna say that there is some barbed wire.
Yeah. I think they should have barbed wire.
Razor.
So you want to change that? Barbed wire work?
No, well, later in this.
Okay.
I think there's something about barbed wire in there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I just wanted to get everybody on board as what was in that 16.9, so we know, we understand.
So on with that same paragraph. Landscaping plan must be submitted to identify screening, section 16-5. Right at the bottom of page 8, the top of page 9.
So what's 16?
Commercial and industrial zone property screening.
16.5.
Want to read it? Want me to read it?
Read it. Read it, Hal.
Screening for commercial industrial zone property. 16501A, commercial and industrial use adjacent to a residential zone. Screening which is adequate to protect the residential land from the effect of adjoining commercial or industrial use shall be erected by the commercial or industrial property. Type of screening required. Screening shall consist of a wall, fence, or evergreen planting 6 to 8 feet in height, having a visual density of at least 90%. Screens adjacent to the front yard of the residential zone shall not exceed 48 inches in height. Location of screen, or C. Location of screen, all required screening shall be located within 3 feet of the property line adjacent to the residential zone. Evergreen hedges and shrubs, evergreen plantings shall be planted at a height of at least 36 inches and shall reach the required height and effective screening within 18 months. Maintenance of screens, all required screens shall be permanently maintained in good and effective condition and whenever necessary repaired or replaced. Installation prior to occupancy, wherever screening is required, it shall be installed before occupancy of the commercial or industrial use is allowed. However, where planning are being used to accomplish the required screening and the season is unsuitable for planning, the owner shall submit a written verification satisfactory to the zoning administrator of when the required screening shall be planted.
Okay. All sounds good.
I like it.
Yeah. Job done.
So we're gonna do a setback of C, fencing will be a minimum of 10 feet from the property line. We good with that?
That one kind of confuses me a little. Why wouldn't it just be on the property?
No fencing's on property line. You always have your setback.
No fencing's on property line?
How do you separate 80 acres? This
And
guy
then-
owns 80 and this guy owns 80. How do you separate it? You don't have a 10-foot setback on fence.
Well, on all these zonings, though, well, I guess not. I guess we are putting on agriculture, but on like industrial and stuff, that there will be should not be on any property lines.
Okay,
It's
so
my
this-
understanding.
so say the best, it joins
Mhm.
an agriculture property.
Mm-hmm. And there's already a fence there.
Yeah.
They just put it 10 feet.
10 feet from the ceiling.
That's just something for maintain on the outskirts or outside of the fence. I don't know. And it takes 10 feet from the property.
Yeah. Sorry. No, I was thinking residential. Sorry. Yeah. There shouldn't be any 8-foot fence on the property line. Think about it. I don't know. That's up to you guys. If you want to let the businesses put their fences on the property line, that's fine.
Well,
But-
I think that it needs to be on the property line unless there's a road involved.
Yeah.
Right.
So any road frontage property needs to have the 10-foot, but other than that,
Well, I think that there's a minimum 35 feet from the center of the road as far as what you're supposed to be with any fence, isn't it? Is that the setback off the roads? There is a setback from the center line of the road, but I don't know exactly what that is.
It's different.
It's different throughout the county.
Yes, it is.
Mine was 15 foot when we did ours.
Right.
So, I mean, it fluctuates.
Really?
Right.
yeah, because that's automatic. Sorry. Yeah.
On Gorman Road, one side of the road is 15 foot, the other side is 20.
Right.
Yeah.
At least they're consistent,
And I own the side that's 20.
So I mean,
Of course.
Yeah.
consistently different.
Yeah. Whenever it's surveyed,
see, that's
the
an
survey will
easement.
let you
That's
know.
more or less an easement.
Right.
Mhm. Yep. They would
Yeah.
have to have the easement through there.
So I mean, maybe we need to put more wording against it.
Why don't we just say fences on the property line, except where there's an easement?
Well, or a.
Setback is required.
Yeah, where an easement setback is required.
On residential or something like that. Yeah. I can see a setback if it's next to a residential.
Right.
You got time for 5 minutes break?
Sure.
Make a motion to take a 5-minute break.
Second.
All in favor?
We're not gonna vote. Let's go take a break. Okay, so we're on
Fencing.
24-507. Last time we changed maximum, we added maximum spacing of 500 feet. That's changed. Anything else on that page? Okay, 10. We're gonna table noise and go on to the rest of it.
Okay.
24-510. Now we're in, this is all new. We didn't cover this last time at all. Any additions or deletions there?
Five, 10. I had a question that I wrote down on the notes. Part.
Which one?
24, 5, 10.
It's good to me.
I don't
Anybody on page 10? Any changes or corrections besides the noise? Okay, page 11. My big question on page 11 is 24-515, the time frame. Yeah, why are we giving them 15 years?
I had that question too.
What can happen in 15 years? Got any basis for that, or is that Linn County wording?
That was, yeah, I think that was the general consensus from a couple different sites, as from what I can remember, that was just 15 years.
So once we issue a conditional use permit,
It-
I think they should act on it within, I think, maximum 2 years.
Why 2 years?
Because that gives them plenty of time gives them 2 years to act on the conditional use permit. Usually on some conditional use permits, we only approve for 2 years. Certainly not 15.
Okay.
Anybody else have thoughts on that?
I mean, the better question to me would be, why give them 15? I mean, is there a reason that it's gonna take that long to put it together or what?
No, that's just for the whole time of the conditional use permit. That after 15 years, if they want to continue, they need to come back to the zoning board, right? Isn't that what it is?
Oh, so you're,
Up to 15 years from the date of the planning commission approval.
But that's a long time. Things can change a lot in 15 years.
The submission.
Right.
and approval.
Regulations, everything else, state, federal, county.
Yep. After the 15 years, they would have to come back.
okay, I misread it.
Reapply.
I misread
So
it. So
long-
what you're talking about is on the conditional use permit, the time it's good for.
Yep. The conditional use permit is good for the 15 years.
Okay.
Once it's issued.
Yep. Once it's issued.
Okay.
Yeah. So it actually should
Yeah, I
not
I
say.
misread it.
I just reread it again, and it should not say the planning commission approval because
Yeah,
It's
Should be-
not, it's from the commissioners.
Right.
Yeah, so I will change that. It doesn't, that the zoning board approval does not give anyone the right to do something like that.
Okay, so I know on conditional use permits, I've heard them for as long as 5 years. I've never heard them as long, anywhere close to 15.
I haven't either. General of thumb is ones I've seen are 2 years for review. So this one on.
Okay, so change it to 2.
Two might, for bigger projects
Right.
as these are, two might be
Yeah,
too limiting, but certainly no more than 5. So I suggest we change it to 5.
I think that's fair with big projects like that.
All right. Are you good with that, Hal?
I'm good with that. I think I seen that somewhere else in one of these other
Okay,
fields of 5 years.
okay.
just gave the quarry 5 years.
What's that?
We just gave the quarry 5 years.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else on that page?
Five. Building permits and plan view, the applicant shall contact. Does that 24/5/14 tie in with the construction management plan?
24/5/14. Okay, building permits. There. Shall- Correct.
I think just put an asterisk by it or something, and when we come to the construction management deal, I think that's basically, it should be in that or it's recopied. I just wrote notes and I seen that.
And sorry, what are you wanting to add to this? The
Well,
building
I'm not
permit
wanting
and
to
plan
add to
review?
it. I think maybe it needs to be in the end of the construction management plan that you've got later on in
The
this.
decommissioning plan?
No. Final development plan, I think
Oh,
you're
okay.
calling it.
Okay.
Because that's part of that, building permits, plan review,
Final development plan.
that would all be in that.
Uh,
Because they're in a construction management plan on 24/13/01, you've got, conditional use permits shall submit with their site plan, a construction management plan, meeting the following requirements. Well, on that there, you've got building permits and plan review. So that kind of ties in because that's gonna have to be under the construction management, a special inspector or the plan reviewer. think it ties in together. That's just,
So what are you saying? What are you suggesting?
well, either that needs to be moved to that, or, I mean, I guess it's just basically it's a rewrite of the same thing.
Okay. So what you're saying is move 24.5.14.
Into the construction management.
Okay. Twenty-four 13.
You see it? You
Does that
find
make
it?
sense, Ben?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I'll probably summarize it and put it in there.
Yeah.
Go with it.
All right. Anything else on page 11?
Are they considered panels? On page 12,
What's that, Daniel?
the, system, is it considered panels? 'Cause it says installation of panels and safe operation.
No, it should be. Wall structure.
On section,
No, that should not have been in.
Which one is that again?
on line 3, disturbance of the soil, on the
Yeah.
top of page 12.
Top of page 12.
Well, it's the third paragraph on
It's
page 12.
M on 16M. Page 16, marked M, the proposed setback of all structures, including solar panels from extension van. It should be, I should have corrected it to be,
Right.
storage unit, battery storage containers. It's 16.
You're on page 16?
Yep.
How'd we get?
I'm on page 12.
You're on page 12?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right here.
Okay.
Four pages ahead of us. I want to get to 16.
We've leapt
Page
forward.
12.
Okay, I see, yeah,
3.
install panels in safe operation, okay, it's also on page 16. Screwed up page 2. Installation of.
Installation of panels.
I'm trying to get to 16. I just,
That shouldn't have been in there.
Nope, I'm just gonna,
You're scratching that?
yeah,
The whole 3, paragraph 3?
no, nope, no,
Just stay on.
just where there's a comma, the construction, comma,
Okay.
they'll say safe operation and maintenance of the BES. Maximum percentage of grade, excavation, and they'll go on to number 4, removal of trees shall be minimal. So I'm just getting rid of the installation of panels
Okay.
and,
Safe operation.
And
yep, and.
construction, safe operation, and yeah.
Okay. Good.
Okay. So the decommissioning plan needs, now that, are we on it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Now's Ben's where we need to put in the soil samples prior to decommissioning, or at the decommissioning time. That needs to be in there about the soil samples again.
Can you just copy and paste that other piece back over here so it reads similar?
Right. In
Yeah, what you-
accordance with the GPS from article, whatever number you had.
That way, they take from the same
Right.
place they did before.
Relatively close. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll go in as number 6.
Okay,
Number 6, okay.
Yeah, number 6 will read something similar to that of the soil sample.
so.
Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, you
No,
got
it won't go
6
6. No, it'll go. Let's see, sorry. Dang it. I lost 6, 7. So it'll be 8. Sorry. I didn't see it. It
Okay.
continued on to the next page.
Okay,
So it'll be 8 will be for the soil sample.
soil samples. All right,
Okay, see in there, you've got every 5 years for the decommissioning cost plan in there, so that would coincide with the same time
Oh, okay.
as
Renewal.
renewal.
Renewal, yep.
I'm going to say that one wasn't supposed to be in there. It was just supposed to
you
be
slipped the
5.
one in.
Yeah, the
there.
one.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that. The
Okay.
one just wasn't supposed to be
That's what it was.
We'll call
It's a
it-
mistake.
It's all right, we'll call
It's
it.
the one the fire supposed to get on the keyboard.
Yeah. I got fat fingers.
Okay, 24-. Yeah, what page on
24.9.
that? No, what page we going
That's
to?
what we're
13.
going to 13. Okay. Anything else?
I do have one question on
Okay,
24802E. It says establish vegetation. I know this is splitting hairs, but are you going to talk about something specific or just plant weeds out there? Because it just says vegetation.
Yeah,
You want
I
something,
think that's a good point.
within a guideline of some kind?
there
Should have been. Yeah, it should be in there that they're going to replant what was taken out. There should be something in there though.
I think it said the natural flora and fauna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something along those lines.
Yeah,
Previously?
identifying vegetation spirit.
Okay, as long as
I
it's,
think it was, I think there was something in there that said it was replacing like the type of vegetation and flora and fauna.
okay. It just seems awful generic right there.
It does. Shouldn't we say something like
Yeah.
previous vegetation?
Yeah,
Or even, you could go as far as to have it approved by the soil and conservation.
it would depend on if it was,
Unless the previous
If it
flora and fauna
was,
was obnoxious.
depends on what the use would be, if it was tillable ground or if it was pasture.
It was that thing, yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's right.
Took it out of
you
the
know,
steps,
that could
even
meet
though it's
different
still working
criteria
anyway,
there.
So,
So
Yeah.
what should you say? Should you say just previous? Is that enough?
Like the old coal mine, and back then they used to
Who's
reselect.
gonna know 15 years down the road? It's been-
For erosion.
Well, I'm sure,
I mean, are they going to, it's just a lease, isn't it?
yeah,
It's gonna go back to
It breeds
the original
fast.
landowner?
I know when we,
Yeah.
lived in Miami County, they
I
usually
think
help us
it ought to be,
with the. chemical
that ought to be
killer,
up to the,
And
between
then they
the
took it out and
landowner
knocked it
and
weed.
the,
yeah,
Now they don't, all, so, and then you had to have a license, and everything else for
yeah,
it.
that really, it ought to be.
Well,
something-
I think-
Something in the
Not
lease
weed,
clause,
just
maybe.
A
That's
pretty
what they
weed.
do with it when they get
Well,
back
I still
to-
think weeds always
okay.
was.
Ben,
Yes.
so E needs to refer back to, and this is a decommissioning, needs to refer back to between the landowner and the agreement between the landowner and the
Legal.
the leaseor
Okay.
of how it's to be reseeded.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's his land. If he wants it for crop ground, he You know, he's gonna till it up, put corn in it. If he wants it for pasture, he's gonna have them reseed it down to fescue or brome or prairie grass or whatever.
I just think it leaves the door too wide open.
Right. But it needs to be, yeah. Regraded and seeded to whatever the, yeah.
Got that?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to word it and where to put it, like where to put it in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can keep going. I'll figure this out. Catch up.
And I think the barrel collector cables will be abandoned in place at a minimum depth of 3 foot, not 2 foot.
I agree with that. I was
Yep.
gonna question that.
You think-
Or it could be below plow depth,
What's plow depth?
Well,
huh?
What's plow depth?
It's, normally 18 inches. I mean,
Yeah, that's so.
if it's in tillable ground, I mean,
Well, so from electrical standpoint, usually lines are buried about 2 feet, anywhere from 18 to 2 feet. You know, nothing's gonna be buried 3 feet. Yeah, and that's because nothing goes much more than 12 feet anyway, or 12 inches. Sorry, it goes from 18 inches to 2 feet, and because nothing hits that low.
I mean, the state regulation is on abandoned oil well, is
Mhm.
cut the pipe off below plow depth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is they're not going to put their because I mean I guess if we could just make them dig it all up, but that's a lot.
there was something back there that said 3 foot in depth or 3 foot horizontally or vertically further back in the regular.
That was about crossing another line or something.
Will have to be 3 feet either vertically or horizontal from an existing line.
That's just exactly what it said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I come up with the 3 foot.
Underground cables shall be located at least 3 feet vertical or horizontal. Existing underground. Yep. Yeah. So yep, because that would be previous
Right.
utility. So yeah, that's why they would have to go down lower because you wouldn't go up. You'd have to go down
Well,
because
so
of
there's
previous.
There
Is
is a
it lower or
possibility of
sideways?
placing a line 3 feet deep.
Yes, if there's already something in the ground.
Yeah.
Yes.
Say you got a telecommunication line running in at 2 foot, they've got to be below that. Or 1 foot or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not how I'm reading that.
Huh?
I'm reading, when it comes out of the ground, it's the vertical at 3 feet from another line. When it's underground, it's got to be 3 feet away from another
Yes.
line, not under.
It's got to be 3 foot either.
Oh, you're saying, yeah,
vertically
you're
or
right.
horizontally.
It's, when it's like this,
Yep.
it's got to be 3 foot from this line,
Yes.
but not below it, not 3 feet below. If this line's at 2 feet, and this one doesn't have to be at 3 feet, it just has to be 3 feet away from it.
And at least 2
Right
feet
here.
down vertical.
That's if it's going under it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gotta be,
If it
It
goes,
goes under.
but if it runs parallel.
Well, say you got this. This line's running this way, and here they come with another line.
Yeah,
So then you got a scenario where you have to be
2 and 3.
below vertically or horizontally. Now, if we're running parallel, then I understand what you're saying, but if
So-
we're running the opposite
then-
directions,
but then for that, that's a special circumstance.
yeah, they'd have to.
But then why on back here where we're at now, would we make them do 3 foot when the rest of it is 2 foot?
Right. I get what you're saying.
the rest of
Previous
it's,
was 2 foot,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
it doesn't make
I'm
sense to
good
put
with
2
that
foot
then.
and down,
I'm
slide
good
down
with
3.
it. I see what you're saying, Daniel.
That makes sense.
you with that?
Yeah. Good with it.
On to 14. Okay, here's one I've got, 24-9. All applicants for a conditional use permit shall submit at least 2 weeks prior to public hearing. All the below. It's gotta be more than 2 weeks before the hearing.
Yeah.
You've got all kinds of things that get done. You've got, what kind of notice you have to give, Ben?
21 days.
I would think 30 days at least at a minimum, so you get everything done.
Yeah,
Maybe more than that. You've got to give public notice 21 days.
Well, 20 days. I'm sorry. It's 20 days.
Oh, that doesn't give
it
you
is.
anything.
It's technically is 21.
Right.
Yeah, technically you are right, but yeah, it needs to be the. Yeah,
So
if they
30
want
days
to
enough
be-
then?
For public notice.
Yep.
Prior
for
to the
me-
public hearing, you have to give 21 days notice prior to the public hearing.
So that needs to be extended quite a bit. So what's the proper time?
It would have to be. Does it say 2 weeks or 14 days?
It says
It says 2 weeks on here.
Give much time to look at it.
Yeah,
No,
doesn't give you much time.
Yeah, it would. It would. Let's see.
I think you need a month.
At least, yeah, I've got written at least 4 weeks. Any more than that.
well, can you do like 30 working days? That'd give you about 5, 6 weeks.
I would say you need 6 weeks on this.
If it's 30 working days,
Yeah,
that might be
6 weeks or 30,
6 weeks.
Just 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
It's 6 weeks.
30 working days. You think it's easier to say 6 weeks?
Yeah, because everybody argue over working days. If it falls on a
Right.
holiday, well, that's, yeah, you're right.
Then you get into 10 working days.
Somebody's always going to find something that holiday pop in there or something. Say, well, I had an extra day because of that.
I think you should.
6 weeks. Then,
Okay. Yeah, it works.
At least 6 weeks.
okay. 2 of those. Okay, anything else on 14?
There, Ben, at G, development plans, soil and water sampling plans.
Yes.
If best utilize toxic materials.
Yeah.
Now, what is considered the toxic materials there?
I think that would be defined by the. I'm not exactly sure. I'm guessing it'd be what's defined by KDHE as toxic.
Can you add that in there? So if there's any question, that refer to those regulations?
I really think the term toxic materials kind of covers it.
It says that by definition, toxic material is any substance that can cause harm or injury to a living organism, whether through direct contact, ingestion, or inhalation.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Approval
I guess
covered.
by definition.
So everything is a toxic.
Okay. 2410.
I think that bond, B, down there at the bond, I said, it says 90 days notice of any bond cancellation. I think that needs to be 30 days of any bond cancellation. Something's going on, if somebody cancels a bond.
So we're making it less days of notification?
Well, it says 90 days there.
So
I
if they
think it needs
cancel
to
a
be-
bond, they can
If they
have six,
cancel the bond, then they need to, and within 30 days, they need to notify the county
Yeah.
that their bond has been canceled. The way I read it, maybe I read it wrong. Yeah, it says,
The way I read it is, if they cancel it,
if they cancel the
Yeah.
bond, then
you need to be
county
notified ahead
needs
of
to
time.
notify
And you're
within
trying to
30
shorten that.
days
Yep.
of that bond cancellation. Because that's their decommission money.
Just kind of covers everybody in case something does go wrong.
and it should it be the board? Should be the county commission.
Yeah, the
Notification.
county board would be the commissioners,
Okay.
not the zoning board.
Okay.
Now, how are they gonna call the bond if they cancel? Or not?
Yeah. Good question.
On a finding of the county board that the permit holder is in non-compliance, default, the county may call the bond.
The way I read that 90 days is prior to the bond being canceled.
That's what I thought it was.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought
Okay.
Yeah, I kind
I
of
thought
read
it
that
gave us
one too.
60 more days.
Yeah. I
Well,
thought we
still.
had more time.
I mean, if a bonding company cancels your bond, you're not likely gonna know even 30 days in advance. It's just you're gonna get notification, your bond's canceled.
okay.
So you
Yeah, I
think
read
90
it.
days is still okay then?
Applicants shall maintain the bond throughout the lifespan of the project. Shall provide the county.
I guess I just read it to protect here rather than them.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
yeah, it doesn't, I read that wrong.
I did too.
Okay, back to 90.
So, yeah, let me
I'm
now
sorry.
make sure I
I'm
understand.
sorry, I read it wrong.
So what you're,
Thankfully,
so what you're saying is,
if they're gonna cancel the bond.
Not the bonding company canceling the bond. The business is canceling their bond.
Right.
And we read it the other way around.
okay,
Right.
okay.
That was Ben's fault.
Very tricky.
So
one.
then, upon the finding of the county board that the permit holder is in non-compliance, they'll call the bond.
That's right.
Okay,
All of this was written by a lawyer, so it's
Yeah, that's the
Right.
biggest
that
problem.
makes
easy
sense.
words.
Okay, getting closer to 16, on to 15. And we're about our limit time-wise. Let's see if we can't. Let's see if we can't pound these last couple pages out. At least initially. On 15, you reference pilot funds.
2415.
No, page 15,
Oh, okay.
Line item G,
page 15, 2410.
Applicant shall agree to a pilot name.
no, pilot naming the Linn County as a payee.
Uh-huh.
I think you need to spell that out. If we can even do that.
I don't think we
This
can do anything with the pilot program.
this was wrote out by a lawyer. This whole section right here
For us or for somebody else?
for Linn County. This was wrote out. It was not wrote out directly for the best, but it was wrote out for Linn County.
And I
That-
would read it.
Yeah.
Gee.
Yeah, I just did that, thanks. But yeah, good job.
So instead of pilot funds, if we can even do that, I'd spell it out. Payment in lieu of taxes.
Payment
That's
in lieu
an,
of taxes.
yeah, that's an acronym for payment in lieu of taxes, so.
Instead of writing pilot.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I'll put pilot in quotations
yeah, that'd be good.
and spell it out.
I didn't realize they were under pilot.
Well, that's what confuses me. How can you ask for a pilot? I guess you can.
I think it's a state. It's not.
Anything else on 15?
Why is that in red?
It was added.
It was just added, is that the reason for it? Okay.
It goes to them like that.
Yeah.
So
Nope, I got rid of it.
Okay, on to 16.
Where did it say it?
A bunch of them on 16, huh?
Yeah, got rid of it.
What's that?
That's really just
Building,
Oh.
building.
Building permits.
this is where it says inventory of existing wildlife, endangered flora, fauna.
Bought in.
Okay, let's see if we can get through 16 here. You added a bunch of stuff there, Ben.
Hey.
What's that about?
What's that?
Summarize what you added there in red.
Oh, let me take a look. Sorry. I was fixing another
Okay.
mistake with the panels. Taking that out. Final side plan. Yeah, that first part just refers to section 23, which is section
Site plans.
site plans. Okay. Section 22 site plans. The next thing, the electrical diagram is just that we have one. That's
Okay.
good. The big one actually here is the site specification stormwater management plan that I was informed that this is kind of a big thing in Kansas is the stormwater management plan. So that is why it's in here that we sort of not necessarily regulate, well, I guess regulate, but also be aware of water runoff, that we know where
Mhm.
the water is going is a big part. And then the emergency response plan, that's pretty common practice for these companies that are bringing this type of thing into a county like ours where we basically have a volunteer fire department, that we get them adequate training on any sort of hazards that may arise with having this introduced to our county.
Okay. Any suggestions or changes there?
No, I like it.
Okay, construction management plan.
Do that. I don't think you missed anything. Yeah.
You're the construction guy.
I don't think you missed anything on that. I looked through that.
That's
The only thing was to move that one line item into the construction management plan.
okay. Yeah.
There on C, it says until new native vegetation.
Is that,
So that would, the native would be what was there before.
okay, yep.
So that does cover that.
Something that we talked about last week was the power purchase agreements and stuff. I don't know if we ever. I didn't remember seeing anything in here. Was there anything in this, Ben, that you remember
About what?
Power
about the
purchase
power
agreement?
purchase agreement or the agreement between the interconnecting agreement? I think
I don't see anything about
I think
power
we
purchase.
wrote in there add signed interconnection agreement.
I'm not seeing it.
And there was something.
Agreement with the county shall have agreement, security agreement, financial agreement. Financial agreement, agreement shall require road maintenance agreement, bond agreement. Yeah, I don't see anything about that.
Yeah, see, they're gonna have to have some kind of agreement with a electrical company somewhere before they can start building it, I would think.
Well, they're gonna have to have it with Evergy, tie into Evergy's grid over there.
Yeah, so what's your suggestion?
Do
We require,
We're required to see that, to
Yeah,
make
we
sure
were-
they have it
before they even start building.
before you can issue the conditional use.
Where would you suggest putting that?
I-
In the construction plan? In the, oh, what was it? Before they even, in the 16
Condition
week?
required for approval.
Yep, that's what, yeah.
Also, I think there was something about the agreement with the landowner, lease agreement. I think that was in some of the other stuff. Can't remember where I read that.
Yeah, I was gonna put it in the final development plan where the application for the conditional use permit shall be submitted. I was gonna put it in there with all of these. Some sort of power use agreement, yeah.
okay. So, we left out two important areas here. That's setbacks and noise. And my suggestion would be, Ben said it in his letter, we've got to come up with regulations to protect the citizens, yet aren't too restrictive to attract businesses in here. And setbacks and noise are going to be a big part of that. So I think we need to, before we meet next time on this, which will probably be next month, I think we want to do this next week.
No, it sounds like this hearing is gonna be a little bit bigger than what we thought, so.
Yeah, so if I could hand out a homework assignment, it would be read up on what Ben has given us here to learn more about the Beth.
Yeah.
And then let's do some hard research on setbacks and noise requirements so we can iron those out. Once we iron those out, then I think it's probably ready to show to a lawyer. On setbacks, we may want to consider different setbacks for different zoning areas. Industrial versus agriculture. I've never seen that done before, but the thought occurred to me as I was looking through it. Those are going to be the meat of these regulations. So the more you study up on them, the better we'll be prepared to get through this and not drag it out forever. Any questions? Anything else, Ben? Anybody? Okay, let's adjourn.
I motion to adjourn.
Favor, say aye.
You did it last time. But she seconded last time. Oh, boy.
Thank you and welcome new members.
Thank you.